Hey guys, HuShang here. Welcome to another HuShang tutorials lesson. In today's video, we're going to be looking at these two armies here. So we're going to be learning how to micro the Terran army against something, where Protoss is playing chargelot archon. I think this is a huge problem point for a lot of players, especially around the Diamond League, because Protoss is, rushing tons of zealots. And it's pretty difficult to deal with if you don't know how to micro. But once you know how to micro, it's super easy. Like, this isn't a type of army that you should be very scared of as Terran. It's actually pretty terrible, especially as the game goes on. So I'll be showing you guys how to smash this army today. And yeah, let's get started, I guess. If you're new to the channel, I'm a Grandmaster with all three races, and I do quite a lot of coaching. So if you're interested in some personalized lessons, you can check out the top comment. I'll leave a link there with my Discord and with my website, or you can also find all that in the description of the video. All right, cool. With all that out of the way, let's get into how to micro this army. So first of all, I have removed the ghost. So this is just a Marine Marauder Mine Medevac type army. Let's hotkey this. And this isn't the type of army you want against this composition, first of all. So this is actually not going to win. So let me show you this type of fight, and then we're going to add the ghost in, and I'll show you how to micro that. So we can move this over here. Against this type of army, you want to kite and then just let your mines hit with a move command, and then keep kiting is the best way to do it. If you have enough terrain, you can kind of make this work, but it's not super ideal. But yeah, you can kind of make this work. But definitely what you want to be doing against this type of army is not fighting it. So if you see this type of army from Protoss, what you need to understand is that the Zealots and the Archons are both going to get worse and worse as the game goes on. So Protoss is basically forced... Actually, let's get rid of these ghosts. We don't need these quite yet. Protoss is basically forced to come attack you. And so this means you're always going to get the terrain advantage when Protoss is playing this way, unless you play into their hand. So if Protoss has this type of army and you see it, basically what you want to do is just chill at your third or at your fourth, and just have all your mines pre-set up wherever Protoss is attacking you. And you're also going to get some sort of choke, probably even better than this most of the time, because they have to come up some ramp, or they have to, attack into your third, and so the surface area is going to be super terrible. So this is the main mistake I see, is Terrans attacking this type of army, which is exactly what Protoss wants. In fact, that's the only way that this army is going to do well. So let's just show you this fight in this little choke, where it's going to be much better for you. Even when we run out of space, I think we should still beat this Protoss army. But obviously, in a real game, you'll have tons of space. You can keep kiting. And so you would win this fight. And again, this is not even the type of army that you want. What you actually want to have is some ghost. So I'll show you this fight, and then we'll start talking about the control groups and how to actually micro this, like I'm doing here. So let's hotkey this Protoss army. Let's set up the ghost army. All right, so you have your position here. You have the Protoss A moving. We're also going to A move. Just hit our EMPs mostly. Do a little bit of kiting, but mostly just A move, to be honest. So if you're over microing these fights, then that's a big problem as well. We want to keep it super simple. And I mean, we're doing a lot of stuff, but we're trying to keep the main parts as simple as we possibly can. So let me talk you through how I'm setting up all this stuff. So we have our main control group, which is going to include everything. And then there's a bunch of units we want to micro in this army that we want to have on their own separate keys. So we have the mines in this particular case. This could also be, Liberators or Vikings or whatever. And you can put those on a separate key. But for this type of army, we have the mines that we want to micro. We want to burrow those. So you want to put them on their own key so that you don't have to control click these during the fight. Because if you have to control click these, it's going to take you valuable time, and then that's going to actually make it, much more difficult to micro. So put these on their own key. For me, I'm going to use 0, which is actually my tilde key. And we're also going to put the ghost on their own key. So I'm going to use 7, but I wouldn't recommend my control groups. So maybe use something like 1, 2, 3 for this. Could be good. And yeah, and then we have everything able to easily micro. So, I mean, I can move my army around. I can select my mines and unburrow and burrow. And it's very easy to do now that we have these control groups set up. And we can easily, you know, get our ghosts to the front if we want to. So there's lots of ability to move this army around however we want. Okay, so that's the basics of your control group setup. You don't need to control group, you know, the medevacs or the marine marauder or whatever. Just the whole army, just the mines, and just the ghost. And the mines and the ghosts are also in the main army, just to be clear. Okay, cool. So that's it for control groups. Next, let's talk a little bit about actually taking these fights. So when you have this army, what you want to be doing is setting up your mines first. And you don't need to, how do I say this? You don't need to worry about the bio because we're going to worry about that in a second. So we're going to do a little bit of a split. Like, you don't want your mines all together like this. You want to have them split up a little bit. But so when you split them up, you don't need to worry about anything else other than the mines. So we're just looking at the mines, and whatever splits along with them, it doesn't matter. And then just burrow with your hotkey. So again, you just look at the mines, split, 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 use your hotkey, and boom. I mean, not perfect, but better than if they're all clumped. So that's the first step. And then the second step is using your ghost. Actually, the second step is going to be splitting up your bio a little bit, like a pre-split. So to do this, you want to, well, first of all, I see a lot of people doing, you know, this type of thing and trying to make it perfect. But this is really hard, so there's a much easier way you want to be using. This is also super inaccurate too if you don't have like really good mouse accuracy. So instead of doing that, what you want to do is just grab half your army, like split it into 2 big blobs, and move one of the blobs down or up, and this will turn into a nice concave once you attack move. Like, once you attack move, these units are going to, these are going to attack something, and these ones are going to run around the units that are already attacking, and then these guys will be attacking, so you'll have this, you know, sweet concave without doing anything. So 2 blobs. You could do the bottom blob like this, but it's not as I don't know, in a line, so I think doing it like this is much better. And in fact, I'm clicking too much. All you need to do is grab half and click 1 time, and that's it. So this will turn into a fairly nice concave. Not perfect, but it's easy, and that's what's important, is keeping this simple. So now that we have our blob, we can move it around. Be careful where you click. If you click in between these 2 blobs, they're gonna turn into a bigger blob, so you don't want that. So when you're moving this army, what you want to do is click far away, and that way they maintain the line. So you can click like this, or you can click on the minimap and try to maintain this huge line, this huge concave. And then once you do want to fight, you want to aim move as far away as you possibly can. So if you aim move here, again, what's going to happen is they're going to form the blob, and we don't want a blob, we want a huge concave. So we're going to aim move on the minimap as far away as we can. And what this is going to do is create a smaller angle, which is going to make the units stay farther split for longer. So literally, the farther you click away, the smaller this angle is getting. And so the longer it's going to take for them to turn into a blob. So if you aim move really far, like honestly, this unit tester that I'm using doesn't have a very far minimap, so it's going to be worse than in a real game. In a real game, you can click way back at like your opponent's base, and your units will stay in formation for basically forever. So that's where you're going to aim move, and I think we're pretty much ready to take this fight again. Maybe let's talk about the ghost a little bit, actually. So for the ghost, I teach a lot of people, this is with all races actually, where people are pressing, let's say my EMP is R, whatever your EMP is, you're pressing, you know, R, then left clicking, then R, then left clicking, R, left click. And So you're clicking one time for each EMP you use. You don't want to do this. This is actually terrible because it's very easy to misclick. Like if you hit R and then left click and then you left click the next time before you hit R, then you're going to be off sync, or you can, I don't know, accidentally right click sometimes. So you don't want to be doing that. What you want to do is just hold down R the whole time. So by doing this, all you need to do is left click. So now I'm holding down R and just left click, left click, left click, left click, and it's much easier. There's no chance of you misclicking. So make sure you do that. Also, don't use rapid fire because it's much less accurate. I mean, you can use it. It's not terrible, but the fewer EMPs you have, the worse it is. So it's something that can be good when you have like 20 ghosts, but if you only have 4 or 5, then it's actually going to be less efficient. Okay, so we're pretty much ready to go. We have our mines burrowed. Let's actually do the whole thing. So you come in, you know where Protoss is, you burrow your mines, maybe you split them up. Let's do the splitting as well, actually. If you don't have time, you don't have to, but it is nice if you can split these up a little bit. Spread it out, let Protoss come into you, A move, then we're going to tab and stim, and then we're going to select the ghost and hit the EMPs. So tab, let's actually redo this. I should use a slow mode so I can talk you through all the details. Okay, so we have them burrowed. So Protoss is A moving in here. We're gonna split and A move, tab, stim, select our ghost, hit all our EMPs or as many as we can, and then pull back before the mines hit and let those go off. I'll have to just redo this a couple times so I can show you all the pieces. So we're burrowed, Protoss is coming in, A move, stim, select our ghost, pull back, hit your EMPs, A move again, and at this point you can just let them A move, honestly, for most battles, unless you're really tryharding. But it should be good enough to clean them up. Okay, let me just do it a couple more times so you can visualize it, and I can talk you through it a couple times so you can get all the pieces. So, burrowing the mines, Protoss army is posturing up. You're getting your ghost ready. You're doing, you know, your basic split, your 2 blobs, maybe a 3rd blob if you have extra time, and then they're gonna come in here. You're gonna A move, tab, stim. Then you're gonna select your ghosts, EMP, and then you're gonna pull back your army slightly while these mines are going off, and that's it. Okay, so A move, tab, stim, ghost EMPs, back up, let the mines go off, and then, you know, just A move or kite a little bit. I didn't hit that many EMPs this time. Okay, cool. Let's see, is there any other parts I want to go over? I think that's everything. But before you go, if you do have any, you know, videos you want me to cover, you have maybe another composition that you're having trouble with, probably against Protoss, let me know in the comments and I will make some videos on it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you don't mind, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.